Good morning and welcome to another meal prep video. Today I'm going to be making pulled pork sandwiches completely from scratch. We're going to be starting with these homemade sourdough sweet potato buns. The first thing I did was I mashed up some sweet potato. This is one of those like nasty gnarly sweet potatoes that the roots started growing out of, and it probably wouldn't be so good for roasting or just eating. So I cooked it in my Instant Pot and I mixed it up in the mixer. You could also use leftover mashed potatoes for this. Next, I'm going to be adding some sourdough starter. That's going to give it some awesome tangy flavor. You can use sourdough discard for this recipe. Mine sourdough is not very active right now, so I'll be using this primarily for flavor, and we're still going to be using yeast. And here is some whey that I used. I strained off to make some Greek yogurt in the past, so I'm going to empty out these containers as a substitute for milk or water. There's a lot of good protein in whey. You don't want it to go to waste. You could also use it for smoothies if you want. Add a teaspoon of salt. Do not skimp on the salt because I've made bread, like I've made a loaf of bread without salt before and it tasted so bad. Like you can't even save it by putting salted butter on top. It was just super gross. A spoon of yeast. Some people say, oh, don't put the salt and the yeast together, but I don't really care. Paul Hollywood come at me, he said, you gotta put one on the left side and one on the right side, but not about that. And I'm gonna start with 3 cups of flour because I find it easier to start with all of your liquid and then add flour until the texture is right versus the other way around. It just combines a lot easier. Let's see how short I am. Love this mixer. Alright, and I'm going to be adding flour until it reaches a good texture, and I'm softening some butter to add at the end. That's good. I'm going to be doing some more flour. It smells so good. Isn't it just mesmerizing? Sometimes I find myself just zoning out watching the mixer spin. We're gonna let this go until it kind of stays in a ball, and then we're gonna add the butter. Okay, while our bread is rising, we're gonna get a start on our barbecue sauce. In here I have 1 large onion chopped up, and I've added some oil and a little bit of salt to get it caramelizing. I'm gonna set the Instant Pot to saute, and we're gonna let that warm up. I also, decanted, I squeezed out a bunch of ketchup, mustard, and hot sauce packets. So I also put some hoisin sauce in there because we order a lot of pho. And if you don't have hoisin, you can use molasses. So I've just kind of emptied out my packed jar into this cup here. I'm probably gonna need to top it off with a bunch of ketchup and mustard at the end. But that's gonna be the base of our sauce. So we're gonna let these onions caramelize for a good long while to get some sweetness out before we add any garlic or anything else. Okay, now that we've got some nice color on our onions, this honestly took a long time, like over 20 minutes. And I've added some garlic, and we're gonna come through with the rest of our barbecue sauce ingredients. I have some brown sugar. It's about half a cup. Sauce, this is our pantry drawer monstrosity. Mostly ketchup, but we've got the hoisin, mustard, and hot sauce. I'm gonna add some Old Bay, which might seem weird, but I've always added this to my barbecue stuff. It is just so good. I'm gonna add about half a cup of white vinegar. You can use apple cider, that would be great. It's starting to smell like barbecue sauce. And I'm gonna add a little more ketchup. All right, now that our barbecue sauce is at a point where we like it, I'm gonna add my frozen pulled pork. This kind of almost looks industrial, but this was from the food bank and it was free. So I'm gonna add it to our Instant Pot full of barbecue sauce. This is 2 pounds of pulled pork. Don't wanna break it up too much. But now that it's mixed up, I'm gonna put this on the slow cooker function and then just let it go while I make the bread. It's still waiting to rise. All right, the bread has sufficiently risen. I actually put this guy outside and we're gonna punch it down to get the extra air out. And I'm gonna pinch off about, ooh, it's very warm, half of it onto my cutting board. And we're gonna start rolling this. Okay, so I'm gonna use a bench scraper so it doesn't stick to my board. Okay, I used some seasoned oil, so let's see. I'm gonna do 4 pieces. We're gonna get 8 buns out of this, so let's start with one of these. And I'm going to try to roll it as tightly as I can to make a cute little button. Okay. And he's gonna rise. We're just gonna continue that with the rest of our buns. So as you see, I've made the buns way too big. I've cut one in half. This is my sourdough potato bun. I've put some sesame seeds on the top, and I've put some homemade garlic dill pickles, as well as our pulled pork and some grocery store slaw. This is just so big, I'm actually gonna cut it in half and share with Max. Ooh. Take a look at the cross section. Ooh. Oh, a little better. Okay. That's very good. So good that if you didn't make your own buns, this would be a quick and easy meal. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and comment for more videos. Bye.